this understanding of the godly presence that is always changing and is what was revealed to Moses when Moses saw that the burning bush was on fire. And standing before that bush, Moses demands this name, and God's response is, I am that I am. And so in many ways, it is the understanding of relating to godly presence in this moment. For me, one of the things that's incredibly important about having an opportunity to do some gentle meditation, to connect with our breath, is that the liturgy of High Holy Days, and particularly Yom Kippur, has been designed to be powerful and to wake us up, to kind of stir us. But it can also bring an energetic kind of wiriness. And if we can begin to bring some of that energy into a more focused way, and to be able to sit with ourselves, the discomfort and the comfort together, it, I believe, can allow the messages of Yom Kippur to sit in a way that serves us rather than that creates a greater sense of discomfort or anxiety. So I invite you just to close your eyes for a moment. After we conclude this chant, we'll have a few moments of silence, and then I'm going to invite us to do a breath meditation immediately following. So just make sure that you're in a place where you feel comfortable. It's always good if you can feel your feet on the floor beneath you, that there's solid foundation. More than welcome to take off your shoes or your socks. Get into a place where you're aligned. Just as we take maybe one breath, as we're coming together in community, I welcome all of us, everybody who is here and people watching on YouTube in this moment. For those of you who are guests that I've not yet met, my name is Rabbi Joshua Lesser, and I'm grateful that you're joining us this afternoon for a Yom Kippur Avodah meditation service. Ehyeh asher ehyeh, 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 Echyeh asher echyeh, 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 echyeh asher echyeh. Echyeh asher echyeh. I am that which I am. I am becoming that which I'm becoming. I have been what I have been. I will be what I will be. Part of understanding a sense of godly presence in our lives is completely about being able to see and engage our reality as it is. And to begin, when possible, to move beyond just binary moments of this is good, this is bad, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant, but rather moving more deeply into a full experience of our present moment and our connection, where it's generally not one thing at any given time, and that who we are generally not one thing at any given time. And so to do that, we build the sense of our ability to be with our own awareness. And part of how we do that is through breath meditation, recognizing that breath is our gateway to life. And so we're going to do this meditation, going to walk us through just a little bit, and then we'll sit together for somewhere between 5 to 7, maybe, if we're feeling courageous together, 10 minutes in silence, paying attention to our breath. And so first, I want to invite all of us to find a comfortable position. If you're seated on a chair, you can be seated on the floor on a cushion. The best of your ability, it's good to keep an aligned posture, a straight back, but not too tight. This is not a time to be rigid. And hands resting wherever they're comfortable. Sometimes folks put their hands up as if they're in a receptive position. But really, whatever is most comfortable for you. Notice your mouth as you're focusing on breathing. Just gently place your tongue in a place that makes it comfortable to breathe. And as you do this, you may choose to close your eyes. And begin to have some awareness of your body beyond being able to see it. See as you breathe if you can relax a little bit more, inviting a sense of spaciousness wherever there may be tension. See if you can sense the shape of your body. Invite your mind just to be curious about your body seated where it is here. Notice the sensations you experience. Notice where you connect your feet to the floor, or your body to the cushion or the chair. Again, notice where there's any tension in your muscles, any tightness, and just breathe. And as you move through your awareness of your body, I invite you to begin to tune into your breath and just feel its natural flow. In, out. Inhale, exhale. In this moment, you do not need to do anything. Nothing to your breath. Just allow it to be. It does not need to be longer or shorter. Just your natural breath. And notice the sensations where you feel your breath in your body. You might notice it in your abdomen or in your nostrils or anywhere in between, your chest, your throat. As you take the next 3 or 4 breaths, see if you can notice where you feel the sensations, one breath at a time. When one breath ends, the next breath begins. Be gentle with your wandering mind. Now, as you do this, you might notice, as you pay attention to the sensations of your breath, that your mind might start to wander. For many of us, it likely will. You might start thinking about other things. You may even worry, wondering if I have finished a sentence, or if you're doing this wrong. It is okay. It happens. This is what our mind does. It is not a problem. It is completely natural. And so when you notice your mind wandering, see if you can identify a thought above it saying, oh, I'm thinking, or I'm wandering into your mind softly. And as you have the awareness of that wandering or of that thinking, just gently bring that attention back to your breath. And do that as many times as you need. And know this is just information about what your mind does. And know that all you need to do is to identify that moment and bring your attention back to your breath. And we'll stay here for a few minutes as you notice your breath in silence. And from time to time, if you get lost in thoughts, all you need to do is become aware, notice, and bring your attention back to your breath. And before we move into silence. This really is an opportunity for us to bring our most gentle reminder to ourselves. So if you feel a sense of judgment, just notice that too. Breathe into that judgment and let yourself gently return to your breath. Together we'll sit for about 5 to 7 minutes. Hineni, 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 hineni. Here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am. Hineni, 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 So in this moment, in this place that we find ourselves, in Yom Kippur saying, Hineni, here I am, I want us to invite ourselves to go in a little bit more deeply within ourselves and to start kind of what it will be a Jewish version of a metta meditation. For folks who come to chants on a regular basis, this is something very familiar to us. It's a beloved chant, and it's of chanting 4 qualities. I see these as 4 attributes, soul traits from Musar. Ahava, love; rachamim, compassion; chesed, kindness; and shalom, peace, or I like to think wholeness. And so we will do this chant a number of times. The first time, I want us just to focus on bringing those qualities inwardly to ourselves, that we bless ourselves with these qualities. We will chant it 7 times and then we'll pause. And then I'll invite us to call to mind another person or group of people as we move through. But first we will chant 7 times as we bring to mind ourselves. And so as you begin to close your eyes, or if you need to keep them open to see the chant, I want to invite you then just to soften your gaze and bring to mind that point of light that we discussed this morning. What is that essential goodness within you? What is the aspect or aspects about yourself that you are deeply in love with, that make you you? And it's from that place, may you bless the rest of your being. Ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom 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 ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom. As we chant this again, I invite you to begin to call to mind your loved ones, your friends, people with whom you have a great sense of ease, a deep appreciation for. People for whom when you see a natural sense of blessing emerges, that bring you a sense of delight, of feeling cared for, and being able to contribute and care to. So really folks that bring a sense of ease, of love. Invite them almost like a parade before your eyes. Invite them, see them, offer them these words of blessing as we chant. Ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom 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 ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom. It's interesting. I don't know if you had a similar awareness, but for me, offering myself that sense of blessing felt like it took a long time. Whereas offering these blessings, I was like, are we finished already? Our 7 repetitions? Really interesting to me, the way that we can experience things in terms of ease and challenge. I'm going to invite us to begin to call to mind folks that we may not know well, but people that we encounter or see, whether they're a neighbor or someone that throughout our travels in a day or in a week that we might see them. It may be someone distant, someone you've heard of, a community member you don't know well, but someone that relationship is pretty neutral, but someone that you have just begun to notice, maybe 2 or 3 people that come to mind as you offer them a sense of blessing. And as you bring them to mind, offer them these blessings in this chant. Ahava v'shalom, ahava v'rachamim, chesed 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 v'shalom. Begin to notice what you feel in your body as we continue this chant. If you're remaining gentle and open, I invite us to try to do so. For this next chant, I want to invite us to bring to mind that someone that we maybe experience a great sense of conflict with, maybe someone who we feel owes us an apology, somebody who might have hurt us or harmed us, or someone for whom we know we have hurt and we have felt embarrassment or a little bit of shame. Or often that somewhere in between, that somewhere the connection that we've had feels more tenuous, more frayed. There may be sadness bound up in this relationship not being what one would like it to look like. There may be anger, frustration. And I invite us perhaps just to bring one person to mind as we do this chant, maybe the most two, and just see if we can extend a sense of blessing just to that person's being. Beyond the conflict, see if there is some way that the point of light that we had once seen in them can be blessed and connected with our point of light. Ahava v'rachamim, chesed v'shalom, ahava v'rachamim, chesed v'shalom, ahava v'rachamim, chesed v'shalom, ahava v'rachamim. chesed v'shalom ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom. And for this last round, I'm going to invite us to bring our attention back to ourselves, to extend this blessing to our own heart, to our own spirit. And perhaps somewhere, when you feel ready, in the middle of the chant, in some repetition, when you are comfortable, I invite you to open your eyes and begin to look at the Zoom cells around you and see if you can extend that blessing to somebody that you see. And just as you finish, wherever you are in the chant where you feel moved to open your eyes, just one by one, offer those that you see, whether it's someone that you know well, or whether it's someone you're just seeing for the first time, whether it's a face on the screen or a name. I invite us to bring that loving intention, that blessing, that heart opening as we begin to move from our own blessing to the connection of community. Ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom ahava v'rachamim chesed v'shalom. So friends, I'm going to invite us to chant Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The world is built on loving kindness. So in many ways, when it feels like we're in a place of uncertainty, we can begin to doubt what are the core foundations or principles that undergird the way we walk through the world. And so I want to invite us to remember that there is a great sense of loving kindness that binds much of the world together. And it's part of what we try to call forth. It's part of what gives us, I believe, the courage and the strength to be able to practice active hope. And so as we move from that place of chanting into some silence, I really want to invite us to begin to think, what are the ways in that silence that we are already practicing active hope, that we want to continue to sustain and maybe deepen? And what are the ways that we want to move out from that courageous place, knowing that we are deeply rooted on a foundation of loving kindness and in a community that's committed to practicing along with us? Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. And if I build this world in love, yadadai, dai, 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 then you must build this world from love, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. And if we build this world in love, yadadai, dai, 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 then God will build this world in love, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, 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 dai. We close our Avodah meditation service with the chanting of Shalom. Shalom, 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 We chanted Shalom 18 times. May we all be sealed in the book of life, and may we find a sense of wholeness and peace. With that, I want to dedicate our afternoon's practice, and for those who want to stay, just have a few brief announcements afterwards. And so I dedicate this afternoon's practice to the well-being of our own soul, to the well-being of those we love and those in our communities. I dedicate this practice to the well-beings of those we struggle with and those that we seek to find ways of coexisting, of finding ways to share resources. We dedicate our afternoon practice to the well-being of our country, the well-being of the world, to the well-being of the planet herself. And let us say, Amen. So just a few brief announcements. It's really wonderful to be chanting with all of you. And I look forward to hearing more harmonies in many different ways in the future. I appreciate you bearing with me. I felt the dryness of my mouth and the kind of crackling of my throat at this time in the afternoon. So I appreciate your gracious receiving of my voice. It can be daunting to lead in this way. Just wanted to let people know, part of the design of our schedule was for there to be a little bit of roominess, recognizing that spending great deals of time on Zoom can be draining and taxing, even when we have engagement and desire to be there. And so our next time that we will quote unquote gather or open up the Zoom is at 6 p.m. for people to offer whatever prayers as they feel surrounded by the sense of Hashivenu, of the voices of our cantors singing as we stand before the ark. You'll see the ark in our sanctuary as you enter that room. Again, it's a place where there'll be silence and just an opportunity for you to come in and out. On a separate link, we will come back together at 6:30 for us to be able to say Ne'ilah, which will then follow by Havdalah, which then will say Kiddush and Motzi for people who want to kind of start their break fast together. And then we'll each be able to kind of go on our own way at that time. And have the opportunity to join back together tomorrow morning as I lead mindful moments. And so particularly if this service felt meaningful, every morning at 8:45, every weekday morning, I should say, at 8:45, we gather. And there's largely a community of 25 to 35 people that gather regularly, and we would welcome you to come anytime to join us. So it's a beautiful day out. I hope that you can enjoy the world in some place. And I'm saying that it's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. Perhaps we're gathered in different places, but I invite you to take good care of yourself, spend this time well. If I don't see you, may you be sealed in the book of life for good and Gemar Tov. And if I do see you, I look forward to welcoming you at our final closing service at Ne'ilah. Take good care, everyone.